Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way Morning Briefing Live. It's Friday, May the 26th. How are you? How is everybody? I'm Tony Haggerty at Haggerty10 on the Twitter handle, as you know, and I'm joined today by Aidan Macdonald at Aidan C. Macdonald. How are you, fella? Not seen you for a couple of days. You good?
I'm good, Tony. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Before I start, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who got back to me on yesterday, and young Aidan kindly put the Ode to the Lisbon Lions out as a news article and on the site. If you didn't catch it, there it's there. I'll put it in the comment section. But lots of people got in touch to say they really enjoyed it, so that means the world. I wanted to share it with Celtic supporters, Aidan. So so thanks for that. And if you didn't read it, there it's there in the comment section. You have a wee look at that if you like your odes to special football teams. And that was written by yours truly when he was a 19-year-old English and politics student at Starcliffe Uni. Been in a vault for 30 years, Aidan, but finally decided to take it out and let the wider Celtic fan base see it. So, but thanks, guys. These were really kind with your comments of that, and always humbling, always appreciate it. Aidan, trophy presentation day tomorrow. We shall speak about that first and foremost. Guys, if you like us and you've already subscribed, we say thank you very much. Our best ever subscription deal ended last night. We'll have a new deal for you soon. But at the moment in time, you want to subscribe to the Celtic Way website and support top quality football journalism, you can. We'll cover the club you love and as best we can. And all you have to do is click that button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Aidan, Celtic play at Aberdeen tomorrow, trophy presentation day. Here's hoping it goes like last year's against Motherwell, 6-0. But before we come to that, we have to address it, Aidan, don't we? We have to talk about it because it's still doing the rounds. Ange Postecoglou for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I've had my say on this, Aidan. We've spoken about these kind of things at length during the pods as long as he's been here. And my personal thought is that he is made of more moral fibre than that. He will stick around for the rest of this season. He will be here next season. What happens after that is anyone's guess. I think he will prepare the Celtic supporters for his departure. Legacy and creating a legacy is important to him. He's done that at every club that he's been at. I think European success is something that drives him, especially Champions League, if not the Europa League. But I certainly think he wants to make his mark in Europe. And everybody's saying, yeah, money, money, money. And I get that money talks, and it's the English Premier League and the prestige of that. But I just think, as I said, he's made of more moral fibre than that. And Ange will decide when he leaves Celtic, not prominent journalists, not anybody else out there. Ange Postecoglou will decide when he leaves Celtic. And I see Chris Sutton says he's not surprised that he's been linked with it and he fears that he'll go. Yeah, lots of people fearing that he might leave the club, but I think one man will decide that, and that's the man himself. And that's my take on it, Aidan. Your own thoughts?
I mean, obviously, this is referring to it's Miguel Delaney's report from the Independent, isn't it, Tony?
Yes.
He's in the past, he has been relatively reliable with his stories, which is why we decided to mention it on this, because as we know, Ange has been getting linked with several clubs. Most of the time, it is just a sort of link that maybe doesn't have anything to it. Hopefully, this is the same, but we did think it was worth touching on. And my own thoughts on it, it's a difficult one. Just want to clarify, obviously, there's no way Ange is going to leave before these two games at the end of the season. That's an absolute guarantee, I think. In terms of the summer, look, Spurs, they're not in the Champions League. If you want to look at it from a basic point of view, I understand there's a lot of other factors, but they are not in Europe's top competition. Celtic are a guaranteed slot. Ange's spoken plenty about it before, how he's very keen to have another go at the Champions League. He wants Celtic to be getting to the stage that they're not just happy to be in it, they're actually competing and doing well. What maybe your own measure of that, of success at that level, that's maybe each individual's own perception. But in terms of this, it is a link, Tony, that seems to be gathering a wee bit of pace. Spurs, as people are saying in the comments here, it is a poison chalice.
Yes.
Antonio Conte was in there recently, undoubtedly a very good manager. It didn't work out for him, to be blunt. seems to be fallouts with the owners. Daniel Levy seems to be a bit of a sort of hothead when it comes to how he likes to run the club. Anybody might have seen that if they watched the documentary on Spurs that was on Amazon a few years ago when Jose Mourinho was there. I don't think it's the most well-run club behind the scenes. I don't think there's really a great structure there. Now, I could be wrong. If there's anybody maybe in the comments that closely follows Spurs maybe as well as Celtic, they'll probably know a bit more about it than us. But from an outside perspective, it doesn't look that great, Tony. I like to think, as David Ferguson is saying, Ange isn't motivated by money. I like to believe that as well. And I'm hoping, like you said, that he will stay for at least another season. But when you're on a rolling contract and it's going into the summer, you are going to be potentially a bit vulnerable for somebody to come in and take your manager. It's just the nature. I understand that's how Andrew's always worked in terms of really rolling contracts, but in terms of a club coming in, you are going to be vulnerable to that when he's in this current contractual situation.
I also think that the appearance of Dermot Desmond was quite timely. I think that this maybe has been bubbling away in the, underneath. And I think Dermot Desmond just kind of rode into town and maybe just had a wee kind of everything all right, Ange, all hunky dory and cushy, and yes, and just had a kind of chat, just sort of moving forward because these, as you say, this is something that has grown arms and legs, and I just think that Dermot Desmond coming, for me anyway, is a bit more reassuring that Ange will stay. I think he's a man of his word and a man of principle, and he's not motivated by money. I truly believe that. And I've spoke to a couple of people that are close to him, one of his former teammates from Australia. And, they tell you that legacy is important to him, and he wants to create a legacy, a lasting legacy at clubs, and he wants them to be successful. So I just feel that it's not the right time. So that's my own personal opinion. Some opinions coming in from the guys here of Stardom. Ange as well on his way to a treble, says Michael McDonald. Love that. Aidan, like that comment. Jason Mudgar saying, I read Spurs have spoken to Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter as next favoured. Ange is just to provide betting interest. Let's hope that could well be the case. Derek Crawford saying, no, we don't have to talk about it. Let's not get everyone panicking. Derek, don't mean to panic anybody, but we have to address it because it has now become more than just a rumour. So we'll address it, but not for too long. David Ferguson, like Tony the Jedi Master, keeps saying, listen to the manager. Yeah, listen to the manager. He will tell you. And Michael Cairn saying, true words, Tony. Indeed, I think he will tell you. He will signpost it, as I say. So I think that's enough in time talking about that, is it not? My ball, trophy day, big giant tifo. Let's celebrate. Celtic are the champions. I'm all for that, Aidan. Let's talk trophy day. Let's hope that Celtic can turn on the style again the way they did last year against Motherwell. They won 6-0 on trophy day, and it was a wonderful day. I remember picking up my father, Aidan, later on, and let's just say he'd had a good day. I think things had been imbibed. Lots of stuff, liquid had been imbibed, and I picked him up later on that night, and he couldn't get the grin off his face. Skin graft wouldn't have got the grin off his Chevy Chase, so and he enjoyed it, and I've not seen him enjoy a day like that for a long, long time at the football. So that's my abiding memory of trophy day last season. It was excellent. I did the son thing that you do. You make sure he gets home safe. Poured him into the back of my car, and basically I drive a Mini, so that was a bit difficult, and we got him up the road, as you do.
Care in the community, Tony. Care in the community.
I do say that to him often enough. He's how old is he? 74. I say, yes, he's care in the community, Dad, that kind of stuff. So yes, indeed. But yeah, trophy day presentation last season, Aidan, was a wonderful day. Celtic last couple of weeks, or last 3 results, haven't exactly been firing on all cylinders. Playing Aberdeen at Celtic Park tomorrow, but yeah, we'd like to think that they could kind of wind back the clock, Aidan, and produce that kind of performance.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, last year was a perfect example. That was probably one of the best performances of the whole season, Tony. Especially in the last game.
it's largely forgotten about, isn't it?
Yeah, because obviously, the day with the trophy, and it was such an important one with obviously Rangers winning the league the year before. For maybe a lot of people, particularly younger, that was maybe one of the most significant trophy wins they'd witnessed. Just because previously Celtic had also kind of just been like, sworn to it every year. Then Rangers had won it 3 years in a row, and then Celtic had won it 3 years in a row. So the fact that it was coming off the back of what had happened during COVID and that, it was such a sort of significant and emotional moment for a lot of people. The game did kind of get forgotten, but when you go back and you look at it, I was going back and I remember going back and watching the highlights after being at the game, and there's quite a lot of it I just forgot about, but it was actually some performance. Ralston's ball over the top to Kyogo for that goal that he sort of hit on the volley was, I think, it may have been too late to be nominated for any sorts of goal of the season awards, but see if it had been a couple of months early, it probably would have been a contender because it was a phenomenal finish. And that was obviously Kyogo wasn't long back from injury there. He sort of rounded off his season in positive fashion. And then the Ange speech as well, which is now iconic, isn't it? I don't know how he's going to be able to top that. I like to think, maybe similar to if it's like a best man speech. Maybe he's been writing it for months and months, but maybe it is just off the cuff with him as well. I couldn't speculate on that, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting day, Tony, and hopefully the team sort of reflect the excitement in the stands on the park.
For those of a certain vintage, Aidan, they'll recognise this, but when Brian Clough gets sacked from Leeds United, he went on live on TV and had a debate with the guy he replaced, Don Revie, and all he kept saying was, I wanted to do it better. I wanted to win the league better than you, Don. Don Revie went I think Leeds lost 3 games one year and won the title. And Brian Clough, as usual, well, I wanted to win 2 games, young man. Lose 2 games. I wanted to do it better than you, Don. So I think Ange is going to adopt that kind of thing for tomorrow's speech. He's going to do it better, isn't he? He's going to say it better and
somehow,
if he can, and top it. So I, that was in the 70s, but I think there's a bit of that about Ange. I was talking about the other day about well-rehearsed ad-libs. He's very, very clever. He's very astute. He knows what he's saying. He can, push the right buttons in terms of what he says and knows when to say it. So I just think tomorrow, when he grabs the mic, he'll not be stuck for words, will he?
No, I can't imagine Ange ever been stuck for words, to be honest. So,
and I don't even know if he might take tomorrow to address his future in front of the Celtic fans with the microphone. Give it the mic drop at the end and say something spectacular and the fans go wild, that kind of thing. I just think, I wouldn't put it past them, let's put it that way. But, if anyone's ever seen that, watched that programme, it's absolutely brilliant. Brian Clough forcing each other. There's people out there that do it better than me, but it's... I'm very much a big Clough fan, so that's kind of grown up with that kind of stuff. But I would check that out, Aidan, by the way, on YouTube. Go and watch it. It's great. You'll love it.
Viewing, Tony.
I said Steve McGrory. That was a great Clough interview, Tony. Still available on YouTube. That's why I brought it up, because it always reminds me of what Ange said last year in his trophy speech. We'll come back bigger, better, and stronger. And I always thought of Clough saying that to Don Revie. I wanted to do it better, and check it out, guys. It's worth the watch. So still lots of comments coming in about the trophy presentation as well. John McKee, it'll be a fantastic day. The weather will be perfect. Also good for the Gallagate party. Indeed, Aidan, parties being arranged in the Gallagate with all the Celtic supporters after the game. They're going to enjoy their day, and quite right. It's been a wonderful season. And Chris Murray saying he's heard Andy's face is going to be on the tifo. Don't know the rest of it. Celtic going for the world record tifo demonstration as well, Aidan, urging everybody to get into the stadium early and take part in that.
The full stadium tifos always are, fair play to the North Curve because it's some effort. Obviously fundraising for a wee while for it, and the fans have once again produced. It's tough economically for everybody at the moment, but it's amazing they've been able to raise the funds for that. These sort of full stadium ones, obviously you had, if you want to go back as far as the famous one, the 125th anniversary, the one when Celtic won, I think the day they went invincible under Brendan Rodgers was a tifo, and then was it the start of this season, Tony? And the last season, I can't remember, there was another tifo in the last couple of years as well. It was the whole stadium. I know regularly the North Curve section have them their own sort of ones for games, which are also phenomenal. But fair play to them. It must be some effort, and it's a lot of people giving up their own time. So you need to respect.
Nobody does it better than a North Cuff tifos, Aidan, and yeah, a lot of people do invest time and effort and money into it, and you have to big them up because when you see them in their full splendour and glory, they're absolutely sensational, and it's the North Curve get it spot on when they do these tifos. So big up to them, and can't wait to see what it looks like tomorrow. I think everybody's excited for that. So it's just going to be one of those wonderful days again, isn't it? Seamus Gallagher comes in. Morning, Seamus. Says last year was the best trophy day he's ever seen. Yep, my dad will vouch for that, Aidan. Brian Roberts, forget the last few weeks. Tomorrow's celebrating day. It most certainly is. Celebrate the rigours of the season and what you've achieved. Les D6, can't wait till tomorrow. Get goosebumps thinking about getting into the stadium. I think everybody has the same. And Maria Ann, morning Maria, how are you? I'm waiting for Andy's speech. Laugh out loud. Lots of people waiting for Andy's speech, Aidan. So it's all. Listen, it's again. Going back to what Angie said, it will be another celebration of what's wonderful about this football club. Another celebration of Celtic, and the fans are going to have a wonderful day, Aidan.
Yeah, they always do for these sort of games. And like you say, last season in particular was phenomenal. I was at the game last season, and it was a genuinely brilliant day, from the performance on the pitch, Andrew's speech after it, the singing, the celebrating, and then the sort of day and night out after it. You need to savour these days, don't you? It is a bit cliche. And maybe some Celtic fans potentially did take it for granted. And then when it came to the pandemic, people maybe started to put things into perspective a wee bit more. And that's why it was so enjoyable last year. And I'm sure it'll be exactly the same, if not better, tomorrow, Tony.
Derek Crawford, Celtic need a win tomorrow, not wanting to go into the final with 1 win in the last 5. I concur wholeheartedly with that, Derek. And Chilpel saying, surely with a full house, a nice day in a stadium tifo, the players will respond. Yeah, that's the thinking behind it, isn't it, Aidan? That's
hopefully.
Yeah. Now, Aidan, do you go hard and fast? Is your cup final team going? Well, I would say, is your Aberdeen team reflective of your cup final team, or are you still worried about players getting injured and stuff like that and protecting a few of them? But my inclination is that tomorrow 11 should more or less be a mirror reflection of his thinking behind who's going to play in the cup final, just because I'd like to see them go out and win the game and take that in their stride and that confidence boost going into next Saturday. That's my thoughts. So we will give you a wee inclination as to where I'm heading with my starting 11, starting XI, call it what you will, Aidan, my first team choices for tomorrow.
I think it will be a strong team, Tony. He's made changes over these last few matches.
Yeah.
To be blunt, it's not really worked, has it? So
no.
I think we want to go full steam ahead with his team selection. If Ange had been keeping playing a strong team all the time, maybe like similar seasons, I think, but the team might have been a wee bit weaker tomorrow. Or not weaker, but the sort of main players might have not been involved. I was obviously, excuse me, so I was thinking back to the 18-19 season. I think it was the last game when Neil Lennon was in interim charge, and Celtic, before they played Hearts in the Scottish Cup final, played them the week before in the league, and it was quite a weakened team that started, but I think it will be full strength tomorrow, Tony. The fans are probably due a performance after the last few weeks, and there's no better occasion to turn up and do that than Trophy Day at Parkhead.
Yep. Steve McGrory comes in again. Morning, Steve. How you doing, fella? Wonder who will be the wingers tomorrow. Jota and another, but who, he says. There's no Maida, there's no Haksabanovic, James Forrest, Abada, Rokovata, and then he throws one in, curveball, Alexandro Bernabe playing out in the wing. Aidan, what say you to that?
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting point, to be fair. One that I was forgetting Haksabanovic picked up a wee knock for the game. We've obviously not heard officially. Ange discussed that a wee bit, and I think his exact words were something along the lines of, oh yeah, he has picked up an injury, which didn't really look the kind of seriousness of it or not. So no doubt he'll be asked that in his press conference today, Tony, and we'll find out the details. But yeah, I mean, if he isn't available, it will be interesting. I'd imagine it probably will be Abada on that side personally, if he's not involved, which would allow Jota to go on the left, which maybe is more favoured position. But it'd be interesting if Rokovata was to be on from the start. But maybe he might be one of the players that does get an opportunity later on in the game tomorrow if it's going well, but it could be off the bench more likely, maybe rather than starting it. But look, that's interesting. And the fact Ivanovic is going to be out for a while, then that's one to keep an eye on for tomorrow.
Cool. Now, just add a couple of more comments here, Aidan. Let's see where we go with Andrew Galea coming in saying, tomorrow full strength. If anyone gets injured, the replacement will have had recent game time. That's a fair shout from Andrew. Patrick McLaughlin saying he would go Jota, Abada and Kyogo tomorrow for his front three. That's a strong lineup. Derek Crawford also come back in. Morning, Derek, how you doing? He would play Welsh with Starfelt as he thought Yuki Kobayashi and Iwata were poor at Easter Road the other night. We've spoken about that off air, didn't we? When I was doing my man-by-man ratings. And Brown Warrior saying, let's see a full strength Celtic because they can't get into the cup final off the back of 5 poor results in 6 league game. It'd be very risky, as Inverness would be feeling more confident if Celtic don't win against Aberdeen. So there you go. And somebody came in and said something. I was trying to find it. Tam Mack comes in and says, Tony, I need to take more days off because we all got half an hour extra yesterday. Then he says, oops, he's a grass. There you go. There's no hard and fast rule about the timings on these, Aidan, is there? We just sort of go with the flow and see where it takes us, don't we? Half the time we don't even acknowledge the clock until you look up and you say, oh, there's so many minutes tick by. But we enjoy ourselves, whether it's half an hour, Aidan, 45 or an hour. We enjoy ourselves. We love talking to all the commenters and chewing the fat over the team. But you're a hard and fast man, Aidan. You're going a strong team tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a strong lineup, Tony. I don't know if you want me to go into detail and name some of the players I would include in that. I know we'll be obviously doing our predicted lineups, which, given it's an early kick-off, they'll be going out tonight. They'll probably form part of the newsletter, and then they'll be released as an article later on this evening. But
well, I think without giving all your 11 away, is there any particular positions that would you play Welsh? Were you not impressed by Kobayashi yourself or Iwata? What's your thoughts on that? Are you taking both of them out your team again? Or
I mean, Kobayashi has really struggled since the Rangers game, hasn't he, when he's been involved? Iwata wasn't much better when he went in against St Mirren, but Welsh has been completely out of the picture for months, really. I can't remember the last time he even played, Tony. I wouldn't want to say a particular game because that'd probably be wrong. I know he got a bit of a knock during the tour of Sydney. I'd imagine he's probably played a game since then at some point. I'm just forgetting, but he's been out of the game so long that I reckon that it would be a bit mental to throw him in that position, which would then maybe take he was then going to be involved in the cup final after being nowhere near it for months and months. Kobayashi's really struggled. There's no doubt about that. Me and you were sort of hyping him up when he was getting his first appearances here and there. He looked really controlled. Even though he struggled, Starfelt beside him, I actually think it's been quite good. I know the team's been conceding quite a few goals, but a lot of it's been because he's been trying to take charge and maybe slightly getting dragged out of position to sort of make up for other people's deficiencies in the back four. I think he's really sort of came at the forefront as a leader during this time, but I would probably still be starting Kobayashi tomorrow, Tony. Personally, I just can't see Welsh getting put in. I
would start him as well. I just think his confidence has taken a bit of a knock since the Rangers game and the kind of nature of that defeat. And, everybody looks for scapegoats, don't they? And Kobayashi was one of them in the aftermath of that match. And, and then there's lots of people saying that his physicality, he's lacking in physicality, and he's maybe just not settled into the rough and tumble of Scottish football as of yet. When he came into the team at first, Celtic were playing really well. They were winning games and everything was, a bit more rosier in the garden. So Keimatsu has said that he not seen the Kobayashi that he knows. So if he's watched him in more detail, then I'll concede to that because he's maybe seen him a lot more than the Celtic fans. But players take time to settle. But I'm not one for knocking their confidence by dropping them from the team. I think Kobayashi has to be given that vote of confidence and the Ange arm round him saying, look, you'll be playing tomorrow, you'll be playing in the cup final, go and do your job. And forget what's happened against Rangers, forget what's happened against Hibs. I'm going to trust you to do this for the next couple of games. Go and do what comes natural to you and just relax a bit on it. Relax a bit on it. And I think he's a young guy as well. He's come from Japan, different football culture entirely. You have to take all these things into consideration, and making harsh and rash judgments about them after a few games, it's what Celtic fans do, it's what football fans do. They go from one extreme to another. It's full of hyperbole. But I just think you need to give these guys, a break. And I also mentioned it the other night in my verdict about Barnaby. Now, we all know Barnaby's distribution can be erratic. Defensively, he gets caught out of position a lot, and they're not seeing the player that they hoped they would see for 3.75 million. But see, when you're listing all that, Aidan, you have to list the fact that he set up the 2 goals the other night. Defence splitting pass to Maeda, who rolled it across from McGregor to shoot at goal, took him down in the box, and he also threaded a lovely, camel through the eye of the needle pass to O, who eventually got the break of the ball and scored to put Celtic 2-1 up. So if you're going to highlight deficiencies in their game and criticism of things that they're not doing well, you have to also, accentuate the positives. Yeah, we all know that Bernabé, again, another one who's settling into a different football culture, having come from Argentina. So you have to cut them some slack. To just sort of write them off and say they're no good enough. I'm a wee bit more respectful than that to footballers, because they're playing at a level that we would all love to be doing. And I just, the eye test is telling you that, at this moment in time, they're maybe falling below the standard that the manager expects and the supporters expect, but they're still trying to put that right because they're young. But saying they're not good enough and get shot at them and hunt them, I don't think that helps anybody. But, that players don't need to be told when they've had a bad game. They know. So about the nature of our job is we comment on them by doing the man-by-man ratings every game, and their marks will fluctuate for that very reason. But, I just think that we have to get behind them and help them and encourage them, and they will get better. I think lots of eyebrows were raised when Greg Taylor came in at the start. Lots of people thought he wouldn't cut the mustard as a Celtic player. He's the first name in your team sheet, more or less, isn't he, in your back four? And bearing in mind Celtic have been functioning without 3 of their main back four for the past few weeks, so these are all things that you need to take into consideration, Aidan, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there, Tony. I think it's probably a wee bit too soon to be making final judgments on Kobayashi. There's no doubt that when Cameron Carter-Vickers is back, it'll probably be him and Starfelt that are starting, as it was before he got injured.
Yes.
But I think you've got to, Kobayashi's got these last 2 games. I think he'll play both of them, or he'll start both of them anyway. And then pre-season, I think Bernabé probably falls in that that sort of point as well, to be honest. You need to see how they're going to get on longer term.
Yeah.
And obviously Greg Taylor's been phenomenal this season. Cameron Carter-Vickers, we've debated whether or not he was Celtic's Player of the Year, even though he didn't win that award. So it's tough shoes to come in and fill, but they undoubtedly need to be better as well. We can't let them completely off the hook.
No.
Bernabé, who has been here a whole season now,
yeah,
give or take, the last couple of games, and there has been one period he's not been involved at all, which will have been down to how good Greg Taylor is, but also maybe the manager didn't think he was good enough yet, or didn't think he was showing it in training. Obviously, there was other behind-the-scenes issues with him, but yeah, I think people, I can understand why fans are maybe annoyed, but I wouldn't be writing the 2 of them off just yet. I think pre-season, going into the start of the next campaign, if they're still struggling, or Ange thinks they're not at it even over the summer, then it's maybe a separate discussion, but I wouldn't be wanting to write off both of them just yet, to be honest.
No, not at all. And I refuse to write anybody off in a Celtic jersey, so that's, Ozzy comes in and says full strength team tomorrow and bring them in. He looks, so yeah. Listen, I think we have to go strength tomorrow, Aidan, a strong team. And as I say, something that maybe with 1 or 2 tweaks at most for the Inverness Calais Thistle game, the Scottish Cup final. I just want to build a wee bit of momentum going in. It wouldn't be ideal going in with 1 win and 5. I think Derek Crawford alluded to, wasn't it? Or 1 win and 4, maybe possibly 4 or 5. But I just think that, they have to get some kind of reaction tomorrow. And I think they will get a reaction tomorrow. I think everything's just set up for one of those kind of Celtic great performances or decent performances. Aberdeen have qualified for Europe, haven't they? So you can't.
Yeah, they've got a playoff for the Europa League and guaranteed Conference League.
Yeah, so I don't know if that will affect their mindset that, not so much the hard work's done, but it's certainly not going down to the wire for them in terms of the European spot, but they'll still want to come and continue on their decent and recent run of form, which has been excellent, and Barry Robson's done a wonderful job. So his players certainly won't stand on ceremony, you'd like to think. So I think it's got all the makings of being an actually interesting game, even intriguing game as well. So Jerry Smith, kind of similar to what I'm saying, team for the final should be the team tomorrow. I'm kind of all over that as well, Jerry. I'd like to think that that's what he would do. I say that a mirror image, but you know what he's like. He very rarely plays the same team 2 weeks in a row, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen, to be fair, that often with Ange. I mean, some usually like maybe 9 or even 10 of the players are the same, Tony, but there's a tweet maybe one of the wingers or, maybe one of the number 8s drops out. Overall, it is, up until this recent run, it's been relatively settled in terms of at least your maybe top 6 or 7 players. Just in terms of like team selection, I don't know if there's maybe going to be a chance that Alistair Johnson maybe gets some minutes. I'd expect Ralston will start, but I know Ange said he was sort of needing return to fitness. Once again, that will be confirmed in the presser, but it would be a sort of big boost if he was maybe to even get, 10, 15 minutes late in the second half, Tony, and then potentially be available for the cup final. Because I'm not trying to go in 2-footed in Ralston, but I know you discussed that in your ratings. That he did, and I don't know if it was your verdict as well, but definitely your ratings that he did struggle a bit in that game, and he has struggled the last few games, as has Kobe Archie, as has Bernabé, as has who's ever been in goal, whether that's been Scott Bain or Joe Hart. But I think it'd be a big boost if Johnson's able to get some sort of minutes tomorrow and potentially be available for the cup final.
Yeah, definitely. The Beach Boys comes in and says you get 3 games at Celtic before you judge for the rest of your career. Remember, Kyogo during the Champions League was not good enough. Now he's the best Celtic striker since Henrik Larsson. There you go. That's the kind of extremes of it all, isn't it, Aidan? And Andrew Gillier saying it's back to business tomorrow. That's kind of my thoughts as well. I think hopefully Celtic can get back to business. I wrote my big game verdict and I kind of used musical references, didn't I, Aidan? Used the band Squeeze by saying that Celtic will put the Squeeze on Inverness in the final and all be cool for cats. If they don't, they'll be up the junction. That kind of thing for those who got the musical references. Steve McGrory was certainly one of them. He got in touch here. But yeah, I just think that these next 2 games are very important for Celtic, aren't they? In terms of all the ingredients are there tomorrow. The fans are going to turn up. They're going to be in great voice. It's going to be a party day. You want to treat the occasion with the reverence it deserves. Go out in style, Aidan. Bring down the curtain down on your back-to-back title-winning season in style like they did last year, and then go and turn it on again at Hampden the following week. That's all the Celtic supporters ask, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got confidence the team will do that. It has been a wee bit of a tough run recently. I understand there's been, obviously, some people have been quite annoyed about it, others have been saying, well, the league's won. I think you can see both sides of that, but I'm confident the team's going to have a strong end to the campaign, Tony, tomorrow, hopefully with a good performance. Recent trophy days, I know we didn't get one in the 1920 season because it got stopped early, but have always been decent enough performances in terms of goals or moments, and hopefully it'll be the same at the weekend. You get the momentum from that. Maybe somebody like Alistair Johnson's then back for the cup final, and you can then take that momentum into next week. Obviously, don't want to go into the Scottish Cup final that much because I know we'll be talking about it pretty much all of the next week of podcast before the season finishes. But yeah, I'm kind of hopeful that we'll see Celtic back to their best tomorrow.
Yeah, Des Harkin, they have to show the fans in part today why they won the league. And Les D, if you read the verdict, you will see that was one of the lines I used. The past 3 games have been bottled and not labelled with love. So there you go, another Squeeze reference there for all you guys out there that are familiar with the band. Yep, Leslie, I was on that wavelength. They were all in there. Excellent stuff. Aidan, I don't know about you, but regardless of the last couple of results, I am really looking forward to tomorrow. Because I just think these moments are to be celebrated, because it is everything that's great about Celtic, and the fans going into the Gallagate and having their day as well, and the weather's meant to be terrific. I love all that. I think it's just wonderful to see that, and I judged it on the fact that my father enjoyed it last year, and he's in his 70s, so it doesn't matter what age of Celtic fan you are, everybody enjoys it. It's everybody coming together, the whole community of Celtic fans, and all the season ticket holders rolling up. That's why you go to the football. It's for days like tomorrow, and it's for days like next week. A world record, 8th domestic treble within your grasp. That's the whole point of being a football fan. Sure, it disappoints you, like the past 3 games as well, but it's highs and lows of being a football fan. But when you're winning and you're being successful, you have to live in the moment and you have to enjoy them to the full, because they are special days. As Andrew Gillier says, it's going to be a special day. I hope the sun is out. And sending shots in, cool for catch, Diesel, Tony, you're showing your age there, Marker. A good run out tomorrow, and the treble is in the bag. Yeah, well, I don't shy away from age. I keep telling everybody I'm 50. I'll be 51 this year, so it's nothing. It's something that I don't worry about. You can't control it, so you embrace it, Aidan.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to, Tony. I believe Ryan also was quite in the zone with a few of your references as well. When the piece was sort of getting put in the system yesterday, so it's not just the old team, Tony, that know your references. So sorry.
Young and old, we are everything to all men and women in this program, Aidan. We try and cater for everybody's age, don't we? But yeah, you've got to enjoy these moments, Aidan, haven't you?
Oh, you've got to. I mean, you need to savour. If you're going to the game, or whether or not you're watching it at home and then going out with your pals or family after it, these days are phenomenal. And Celtic potentially, you're maybe potentially getting 2 great weekends in a row if they wrap up the league in style, and then they also win the Scottish Cup next weekend. So yeah, you need to enjoy these days, Tony. They're so important, and sometimes it does take maybe a season of not the most probably underplaying when I say it wasn't the most successful, but a season of disastrous proportions to make you then realise that these days are amazing, and you've got to enjoy them. Who you're there with is important. What you do that day is important. Hopefully, what the team provide in the park is important. It's just an all-round great experience, and they'll never get old, Tony. Never get old.
Andrew Gillier says, wisdom comes with age, Tony. Yes, except in my case, it's Norman wisdom, Aidan. So there you go. So, hey, as I say, we're everything to everybody. People saying 51 are retired. Give it up, sorry. I don't know if he's telling me to give this up or just give it up in general. There you go. Indeed. Well, lucky you, retiring at 51, Aidan. I'd like to think there's a few more years in me. Yeah, Aidan, I'll keep going. I won't, I'll keep going till I beat the hour mark, Aidan, for the young guys, for everybody to celebrate going over the hour mark with the young guys doing it for an hour. They've got more stamina, allegedly, Aidan. Your old dad here has to lie down every now and again. But Steve McGrory saying, every goal, every win, every trophy, every title win, all need to be savoured like they are our last. Totally get that, Steve. I'm on board with that. And as Aidan mentioned there, the season that shall not be named, I think everybody got a major kind of reality check with that season, just and how down they felt. And it seemed like the end of the world, because your lives are entwined with the fortunes of the wonderful football club that you follow. And Ange came in and just swept all that aside, didn't he? And you're now feeling, as the song says, on top of the world, Aidan. So it's amazing how that flip, as you say, in 2 years. So you have to just make the most of this and enjoy the manager and this group of players while they're here, and savour moments like tomorrow. Just as someone said earlier, bottle it. bottle it, store it up, and label it with love, because I guess Celtic and Rangers fans are spoiled in the sense that they do come around often, but every time they do come around, they're different. They're different for vastly different, for vastly different reasons. So, and you remember them for vastly different reasons. So, yeah, I think tomorrow will be another special day in the history of the club, and I hope everyone who's going along enjoys it. It'll be wonderful. Just two things, Aidan: the team and what the manager says. I think everybody is clinging on to that. Well, three things, and hopefully a Celtic performance to match the kind of general feeling of the day celebration.
That's the hope, Tony. A repeat of the 6-0 game last season was lovely.
Is that what we want?
That's a way of. Are we going to do predictions right now? Should we just go into it?
Do you want to do a prediction? Shall I go first?
You go first, Tony. I'll let you go first.
Okay, I'll go a conservative 3-0, Aidan, to Celtic.
I'll go 4-0 then, which potentially is a wee bit bold, given obviously Aberdeen have been a sensational run of form. But I can't pick the same score as you, Tony. That would be unjust, given this season. If that's how I was to finish the final Scottish Premiership game, picking the same scoreline as
you. Right, guys, get your predictions coming in. Robert Gibson kicks it off. Leslie, funny enough, from the days like tomorrow, I like a bottle really special. They are indeed. Robert Gibson 2-0. He says, Tam Mac, we shall not be moved. He says, there you have it, Aidan. Other predictions coming in. Seamus Gallagher 3-1 Celtic. Derek Crawford 2-1 Celtic. Shannon Short 2-1. Leslie agreeing with me 3-0. He says, Michael McDonald 11-0 6-0. Jill Pill will be close tomorrow. Aberdeen on form 1-0 to Celtic. B 2-1. Jerry Smith 3-0. Maria Ann 3-1. Stoned Outlaw 2-0. Des Harkin agrees Seamus 3-1. Helen Feeks 2-1. But all, despite recent run of results, Aidan predicting a Celtic win. Tony Robertson goes even further than that. 5-0 and a Jota hat-trick. That I would like to see, Aidan. I'd like to see how Jota would celebrate scoring a hat-trick for Celtic. Steve Cassidy just way out there, 10-0 to Celtic, Aidan. He's going for the green and white ribbons round the trophy in fine style. But yeah, I would like a Jota hat-trick. Aidan, that'd be good.
Yeah, it would be interesting, like you say, to see how you would celebrate that. That would probably be interesting. But yeah, Jota, obviously, his numbers have been pretty good this season. He ended up even out quite well compared to his first campaign. I know for a while he was a wee bit behind, but obviously there's still been 2 games left. But yeah, I would be interested to see how Jota would celebrate a hat-trick as well.
FS comes in, everybody's enthusiasm. 2-0 the Dons, he says. Fair enough, FS, you're entitled to your opinion. Steve McGrory 3-2 Celtic. 5-goal thriller predictions. Steve there, so there you go. Yeah, and we do this for fun, predicting the score reading. We try and nail it and get it right. We're often well wide of the mark, like the other night. So these things happen, but we do our predicted 11s as well. Not so much for fun, but that's part of our articles that we provide on the website, and we take that seriously because we try and nail it, because it's a badge of honour amongst the boys, isn't it, Aidan, if you get 11 out of 11? So
I think I got 1 this season, Tony, across the whole campaign, which to be fair was more than I was expecting. So,
well, considering Ange doesn't play the same team 2 in a row, Aidan, that's not too bad. Andrew Gillia coming in saying Jota will want to turn it on tomorrow. He likes a big occasion. Does Jota and Steve McGrory, Kyogo to score, or Shanklin and Van Veen might catch him? There's always that as well, Steve. That's true. David Ferguson, he's saying another score draw. P.S. He's not proud of himself for saying that. Yeah, there you go. Eh? People getting annoyed because they're not tipping Celtic to win, Aidan. Where else would you get that in a daily briefing? Eh? Getting upset with yourself because you're not tipping Celtic to win. Come on, David. Tip Celtic to win. It's going to be a wonderful day, a gala day, as they say. So let's celebrate it in style. Celtic to go out with a bang, Aidan, eh? That's what we all want, isn't it?
That's the hope, Tony, and I've got a good feeling about it. Now, I've said that a couple of times this season, and it's been wide of the mark. But
They're going to tell me that you were spot on.
Well, I think I said I had a good feeling about the 2 games against Shakhtar in the Champions League, which didn't exactly go well, did it? So, anyway, probably made myself a bit vulnerable there pointing that out. But yeah, I think there will be hopefully motivation to have a strong end to the season. You know, it's in front of the fans, you're getting the trophy. They have been a bit off at the last few games, so fingers crossed that they're motivated to go out there and perform.
As I always say, Aidan, it's result dependent, isn't it? The weekend. Here, David Ferguson come back. I knew he would. Okay, Tony, 5 results. Some reason now he's gone from a score draw to 5-0, Aidan. The blinking of an eye, AGSC Tech 6-2 Celtic because the team has lost a bit of discipline. I love these. I love these score predictions. They're magic. Excellent, guys. If you've enjoyed today, we urge you to subscribe. We thank everybody that's subscribed. We read out your comments as much as we can. You keep us all entertained because you're an informative bunch and a knowledgeable bunch, and we enjoy the to and fro. And we just enjoy the general Celtic chat and discussion. That's why we involve you, and we love the community that we've built here. It's you're important to us, very important, and we thank you for that. We hope that Celtic put on a display for you to bring down their league season in fine style in the way they deserve. Steve McGrory comes in. Cheers, guys. Another great show. Hope your dad enjoys tomorrow, Tony. I hope so too. Good luck. Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention the ladies on Sunday, Aidan. Scottish Cup final.
Rangers, yeah. Chance for Celtic women to finish the
season on a high.
So,
yeah. Yes. Here's hoping Fran Alonso gets his hands in silverware and they end their season with a flourish, because I think that the ladies certainly deserve something for their efforts for that. So good luck to them. And if you're going along to that, have a great day as well. Just have a great weekend, showcasing everything that's magic about Celtic. Enjoy the party if you're going along to the Gala Gate. Great show, guys, says Chill Pill. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind comments, Steve. Appreciate that as well. Derek Crawford, take care, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all indeed. Guys, thank you. You're always kind. Great show, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Good luck to the girls on Sunday. Yep. Can't emphasise that enough. Superb. Take it easy. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you haven't already subscribed, then we urge you to do that. Subscribe to the Celtic Way website and help us. And you can support top quality journalism, football journalism in the process, covering the club you love. That's Celtic. And all you have to do is hit that button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Aidan, top class contribution today, mate. 48 minutes. That's not bad, is it? That's not good for
bad, Tony. Not too bad for the end of the
season. There's maybe not a WR flashing in the top left of your screen that David Coleman can refer to, but there you have it. One day we'll just go off on that and stay on forever, all day. But there you go. Andrew Gallia, what's worthy sentiment there. Have a great weekend, everyone. Result dependent. Go on Celtic, finish the season well. Go on the Celtic women. Fran Alonso, get your hands in that Scottish Cup. And the girls, do yourselves proud for the end of the season match against Rangers. Hope that all goes well. If you're going along to both games, enjoy. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the party. Enjoy the celebrations. Just enjoy what you're doing, because these are wonderful times to be a Celtic supporter, Aidan.
They are indeed. We can't take them for granted, and fingers crossed there's going to be many more of them in the future.
Indeed. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a fabulous Friday. We'll be back on Monday. Hopefully it's a happy Monday, Aidan.
Fingers crossed.